Continuing some lance building tactica, in this vlog, I want to focus on a support lance. And within that framework, the definition of a support lance, in my opinion, a lot of different ways to build lances, mech configurations, but a support lance for me is taking one particular aspect of Battletech, usually in the shooting phase, and leveraging all of that battle value for that lance into that one specific area, and then taking that on the hex map on the tabletop and really trying to force that against your opponent so it builds on the three primary factors in Battletech for success. The first is having redundancy. This idea of it's one thing to fire one PPC at a target, it's another thing to fire 3, 4, or 5. So having multiple types of the same weapon with the ability to fire on a single target or a group of targets. I have the best chances of hitting despite the dice modifiers. Now, yes, absolutely, I'm going to try and bring down those dice modifiers. I'm going to try and get in the best position to fire. I'm going to try and keep my numbers as low as possible. If I can do that with multiple, let's say, PPCs, autocannons, long-range missile 10-packs, that's going to be devastating. But even if my opponent or the target has higher modifiers and moves a lot and I'm forced to run and not stand still, if I've got 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 of a similar weapons platform, you're still going to be a little bit nervous that I'm going to tag you with 1 or 2 shots. So I'm looking to have that focus. Second is the ability, in my opinion, of a support lance supporting to reach out at range. This idea of earning battle value, range plus movement. So we look at the range of a weapon, right? The range of an autocannon 5 or an LRM pack. And then on top of that range, you have to add, or you possibly have to add on, my ability to walk or run. How many hexes can I move openly? Now, yes, terrain might change a few things, but that projection is going to create a threat bubble. That means anything that comes into that range plus my movement, I'm going to be able to tag. So support lances tend to be long range weapons. They tend to focus on that because if I can get into a good position, I can support multiple targets across the table. But on top of that, I don't necessarily have to walk or run. By sitting in place, that cuts down on the modifiers that I can control. I can't control your ability, whether you're going to walk or run or how many hexes you're going to move. I can try to influence it. But from that perspective, a support lance pushing out, staying in place. And then third is the support, usually a support lance of autocannon and missiles, a specific weapon type, although you could have PPCs. Usually, ideally, lower heat, because I want to be firing every single turn, and enough of a spread, usually with missiles, because I can spread those out. But if you are going to look at combined weapons, try to match the range profiles, autocannons and LRM 10 packs. LRM packs, 10 packs, 15, 20 packs, and medium lasers as a support lance, right? There's too much of a discrepancy in that. So we have that focus. Now, whether that takes its shape in light mechs, medium mechs, a heavy and an assault, 2 heavies, a light, a medium, the composition of the lance, that depends on the battle value. I sometimes run a support lance with 4 Valkyries. And we're pushing that, and we're pushing and leveraging that out. So building that support lance, my fellow mech warriors, my fellow mech commanders, my fellow mech enthusiasts, what does your support lance look like? What mechs do you pick? And how do you leverage that against the tabletop?